So now you see why this guy, what they wanted him to be speaker. He is an expert speak out of both sides of his mouth guy. And that's what that was right there. He's like, oh, this asshole Thomas Massie wants transparency. I'm committed to transparency. What? So Thomas Massie is pushing for his own private investigation into the, did you know this, Kurt? Into the Epstein thing.
I'm surprised that 21% of Americans are in Congress. Like, who's the percent that said that's of the majority, but who said no, don't release them?
He says 79% of Americans support releasing the Epstein files. Who are the 21%?
Is Congress? Was most of people?
Only 16 members of Congress have sponsored the legislation to do so. After 7 legislative days, I'll be able to collect signatures to force a vote on my bill to release all files and co-sponsors. That was from July 20th. So that was going to happen. By the way, so here is the YouGov poll. 79% of the adults say yes. 5% say no. 85% of Democrats. Only 76% of independents say yes. Isn't that interesting? Who are these?
The numbers are low, but who are they on a list? These people?
No kidding.
No. Let bygones be bygones, I say.
But now Thomas Massie says Americans were promised justice. Our binding partisan legislation to release the complete Epstein files now has 20 sponsors. Soon we can be collecting signatures required to force public vote in the U.S. House. Is your member on the list? That was from July 22nd. Well, guess what? Then the Speaker, Johnson, he retreats on his demand.
Speaker Harry Potter is retreating on this one?
Harry Potter says the demand for Epstein disclosure. Trump needs his space. So he completely flip-flopped. Said Trump needs his space. Breaking, Mike Johnson said he would shut down the House until September to block a vote on calling for the release. So this is the one time when Democrats and Republicans actually agree they want to get this Epstein stuff out, or they want to vote on it.
Some of them want to, but their heads are not allowing it.
Yeah, I think it is the Democrats wanted to force a vote to embarrass the Republicans who are going to vote against it to protect Trump.
They both know it can never come out. All in the meanwhile, they're all doing games because I love this thing. The Democrats are like, oh, yeah, hey, MAGA, aren't you sad because they didn't release it? Oh, yeah, because Wendy Williams is going to get right on that when she got in. Yeah, I'm sure.
So
it used to get suppressed for talking about it when the Dems were in. Remember that?
So here's what he said when he says, so they just suspended Congress early so they don't have to take this vote.
As you all know, I speak to the president multiple times a day on a typical day, often, always. And what I know about the president's heart on this is that he agrees with everything I've said here today. He wants maximum transparency, but he's also very insistent that we do not subject people who have already been victims of unspeakable crimes to further public scrutiny. And it would be a very dangerous thing to put those people's names out or to do a release of information in a way that is haphazard, where they could be easily unmasked. And
You've only had 10 years.
I think we have a moral responsibility to do that. We have a moral responsibility to expose the evil of Epstein, and everybody was involved in that. Absolutely. And
it says here I'm supposed to smack the podium right now to make it look like I'm really earnest and I really give a shit about anything I'm saying right now. So, smack.
Oh, my Fauci glasses normally do that, but I got to do this too now. Yeah, normally you just look at my glasses.
Yeah.
Remember Harry Potter? That's unreal. Here's what would happen if they released it in a haphazard fashion. He kind of just said at the end, you know, the Walmart fat people, the Rizzler and co., the family that raps about Walmart, they would put down their Strombolis and run there to tear these people apart limb from limb. And we can never have that, you know, because Walmart would go under. So
let's watch this.
I was wondering, with the paralysis in the Rules Committee, it seems like they're not going to be meeting again today because of Epstein amendments. Have you chatted with anybody about that at this point?
Well, it wouldn't really matter. Their Epstein bill resolution is non-binding, so it's kind of fake. The resolution that I have co-sponsored with Ro Khanna would actually bring up legislation that would be binding on the president.
Is your understanding that will ripen the day after lawmakers get back from August recess?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have 6 days and we needed 7 days for the discharge petition to ripen before we could bring this up before the August recess. So we'll have to bring it up after the August recess. But the good news is the Speaker has no interest in keeping us here one extra day.
So Speaker Johnson expresses frustration that Thomas Massie is trying to get Congress to move to release Epstein files. He says he needs scripture to deal with him.
So as the leader of my party, I lead the incumbent protection program. Okay, that's my job. I go all around the country. I travel endlessly, incessantly. I have to raise over $300 million to do that, and we want everybody to come back. And some people, I try to protect them from themselves. You know, they kick and scream and bite their own colleagues. Some people seem to enjoy trying to inflict political pain on their own teammates. I'm not going to address anybody individually, but I'll tell you that some here are much more frustrated than others. There's a small, tiny handful, but one in particular who's given me lots of consternation. I don't understand. I don't understand Thomas Massie's motivation. I really don't. I don't know how his mind works. I don't know what he's thinking. Thomas Massie could have brought his discharge petition any time over the last 4.5 years. Over the last 4 years of the Biden administration, he could have done that at any time. And now he's clamoring as if there's some sort of timeline on it. It's interesting to me that he chose the election of President Trump to bring this, to team up with the Democrats and bring this discharge petition. So do I have some concern about that? I do. But you know, in me and my way, I try to follow Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment, never speak evil of another Republican. My gosh, it's hard to do sometimes around here. I also try to follow the scripture. You know, it says, bless those who persecute you. So let me just say about Thomas Massie, could you just accept my Southern bless his heart? Okay, I don't know what else to say about it. We're for maximum transparency. We're engaging in that right now, and we don't need political gain.
So now you see why this guy, what they wanted him to be speaker. He is an expert speak out of both sides of his mouth guy. And that's what that was right there. He's like, oh, this asshole Thomas Massie wants transparency. I'm committed to transparency. What?
Yeah, I only heard the one side until the transparency part. So your job, our job is protect the incumbent. I thought you were there to protect, your citizens and like their kids from being trafficked by Israel. You scumbag.
No.
Oh, okay. And then you're going to bring up scripture because that is like, how do you not know your leaders are like satanic, whether you believe in that stuff or not? That's crazy what he said. He just said, scripture, there's an at-large group of pederasts running everything. And you as a Christian don't feel no need to look any further.
No.
I think the timing, is the timing interesting? Yeah, it's interesting to me too, Harry Potter. I thought Trump was going to release that shit.
See that? Yeah,
so that's the timing explained.
Yeah. So everybody was convinced that. Let me just tell Mike Johnson why Thomas Massie is doing it now, because it's clear that the Trump administration is trying to cover this up instead of what they campaigned on was release all of it and reveal everything and have transparency, radical transparency. And now it's obvious that that's not happening. So Thomas Massie has to go do something about it. That would be probably why he's doing it now, and he probably didn't do it over the last 4 years because he knew that the Democrats were in charge of all that stuff and they would probably suppress it.
Yeah.
Well, the Republicans are in charge of all that stuff now and they're suppressing it. So that's why he's having to do it right now.
I mean, you can't see it from the beard. He's got no glasses. He's grown a full beard, Thomas Massie. He's probably living in a shack hiding out.
And it's not party first. It's country first.
It's supposed to be country first, not party first.
The 11th commandment.
Yeah. So, there are good jokes to be made about this, and if you'd like to hear some of them, August 3rd, I'll be in Oxnard, California, and I'll be in Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan, New York. We'll also be in Chicago, Appleton, Wisconsin, all kinds of places in the Midwest. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Here's what Mike Johnson says. Republicans won't be lectured on transparency by the same Democrats who orchestrated one of the most shameless and dangerous cover-ups in history, Biden's obvious mental and physical decline. So what he's saying is, yeah, of course we're not being transparent. Of course we're covering shit up, but we're not going to be lectured by people who also cover shit up. That's what he's saying.
You could be mocked by me. How about that, Harry Potter?
Thomas Massie says, Speaker Johnson, why are you running cover for an underage sex trafficking ring and pretending this is a partisan issue? MAGA voted for this.
Perfect response.
That's the perfect response. Clinton Russell says there were enough votes to pass Massie's binding resolution to blow the lid open on the Epstein files. All the fury will be directed at Mike Johnson for this move, but he did what he was told to do. I hope people realize that this was Trump's call. Of course this was. And he does exactly what he's told. Trump says this: Thomas Massie, the worst Republican congressman, and an almost guaranteed no vote each and every time, is an embarrassment to Kentucky. He's lazy, slow moving, and totally This does not work on Thomas Massie. He acts like he's talking about Tim Walz or Hillary. No, you're talking about someone that is beloved in Kentucky. That guy's going to have his seat as long as he wants it, Thomas Massie, unless it comes out that he's on that list, which he's not. He's a real loser. Never has anything. So it's just like when they called everybody sexist. It loses its punch, Donald Trump, when you calling Thomas Massie a real loser. It just doesn't mean anything. Never has anything positive to add. Looking for someone to run. Yeah, his positivity is that he wants to end the deficit. I think that's pretty positive. That's a big deal. And he wants to expose the Epstein files. That's also a positive. So this is...
That's a bad Republican,
yeah.
Jimmy.
Looking for someone to run against this guy, someone I can endorse and vigorously campaign for. So Donald Trump, that's called about Republican on Republican violence. And Thomas Massie says, if the executive branch won't release phase 2 of the Epstein files, we will. Americans deserve transparency and the victims deserve justice. Wow. So we'll see if that happens. So Thomas Massie fighting against the cover-up of the Epstein files. That's what Thomas Massie's doing, and Trump calls him a loser for it.
He's looking great.
Thomas Massie is? Yeah, he lost
some weight.
It does look like he lost some weight. He looks good. He's got a normal beard. He doesn't have a beard that people grow to as a substitute for a personality. I don't know if you've ever seen. I'm talking about.
Yeah, David Letterman. David Letterman.
Yeah, David Letterman did that. It's like, please look at my beard. This is who I am. Come see us in Oxnard, California, Rutherford, New Jersey, Manhattan, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, and Chicago, Illinois. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.